H-Town, what it do? We got a guest in the studio today. What did they say? Montezuma mom? I forget what they call you. Miss Montezuma or
Or Miss Mike's mom,
Miss Mike's mom?
even though I named him Michael.
Yeah, you always tell the people, they say, it's not Mike, it's Michael.
That's true. That's what I named you.
So since we got you in the studio, what do you think about Mrs. Montezuma's music?
Well, I think it's pretty incredible, considering self-taught and learned very quickly and very dedicated to it, really has a passion for it, so I think it's pretty. Hi.
Well, we do a little chat, a little live interview where we just kind of interview each other. I got my mother in the studio, Miss Maria. I got some beat on, which I will turn down in a minute here. Actually, hold on. And we're back. Got a little studio second there, just like the instant second. All right, Miss Maria, what's going on?
Just here at the studio with my son.
My mom tell me like I'm in the studio. What's up? You know, like, goddamn. What you working on? Man?
Now that we figured that out.
So about a year ago we interviewed, and you kind of did a little interview live with me, and since then we've dropped about 10, 12 albums, and been doing okay with this music thing.
Yeah, I'm impressed for sure. I mean, wow. I mean, I don't even know how you do it because it's a lot. Like,
I'm really not sure either. One thing I do know is we're still out here on Westheimer. What's up, Westheimer? Fuck Watermill. what you think about Wild Westheimer out here, man?
well, it needs fixing. I think, and the
really
city should really take more responsibility for what goes on.
Ain't that the truth, man? Because there's some neat people in our city, just so to say. And you know, sometimes for the times I've been down, which for those who don't know means locked up, and there's some of the most amazing and I like to say some of the baddest motherfuckers on the planet behind them walls.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that way on Wild Westheimer. You know, the people that are out there that are victims of circumstances or that just had better luck. It seems like there's some really interesting, neat people. As we all are.
Yeah, sure.
But it makes it a little bit more sad because you seem to grow attachments. I've been out here doing documentaries and kind of working with the people here on Westheimer. And as I say in one of my first B.I.T.S songs, B.I.T.S is a movement, and it's beats in the streets. And I say, like, I didn't know what was going on, and when I did kind of find myself on that same path, guess who helped me? It was the people that were already out there. Everybody is just a step away from homelessness, and it can happen to anybody, the best of us. And sadly, our city doesn't seem to be like really.
No,
they're doing their part, you know.
not at all.
Kind of seems the other way around. You know, there's this vacant apartment issue where it's like hundreds and hundreds of vacant units. I mean, people getting evicted behind B.S. and you know. I know for a fact that there's been, you know, even paperwork filled out incorrectly, and it's still going through the eviction process, and from you know, somebody that might have just been in an apartment, not even a month, that the people just happen to not like. And I don't know the exact definition of a slumlord, but it just definitely seems that somebody puts all their money down, moves into an apartment, and then gets evicted because they just simply don't want them there.
And the apartment's, you know,
And the apartment's
not very desirable.
Right, and the apartment's crap, it's saturated.
You know, there's hardly any people living in it because it's, you know, like.
But you know how sad, and for example, and I'll just use their name and not even hide it, but over at Watermill, they seem to have an issue with what they think is homelessness or homeless people. And for me, I'm like, how you gonna call that out? How do you really know? You know, it's speculation. You may think you know, but how are you gonna tell somebody they can't come in because they're homeless or whatever? And then put the resident out and make more homeless people. So that's just one of the small things. And
It's a huge thing, though, and Houston's a big city, and it has a lot of money, and there's no
That's kind of something that once we start firing up this B.I.T.S movement, that it will be like multi-leveled, multi-tiered, and so that's one of the things that would be included, like eviction, stuff like that. You wouldn't think that would, when you think of how could you even ever help something so big as homelessness, especially in a city like our own. And first of all, let's just look out for each other, people. And I know it's hard. I mean, I know we can't take on other people's problems, and some people just seem to never stop needing help. And I don't know, if you're in a position to help somebody even cross the street, then I would suggest do it, because I know it's certainly, when I do it, it feels great.
Certainly, because people don't, you need help sometimes, and you can't do it on your own. You need help.
And I tell my partners, I tell my friends, I tell my family, like, if you do find yourself in that situation, make sure you speak on it, And I know it doesn't feel good, because people love to tell you no when you do need help, and maybe it's for your own good, and maybe it's just how it goes. Speaking of Wild West timer. But yeah, just overall kind of a sad story, but I try to not harp on it and whatnot. We just need to find ways to make it better. That's one of them, would be getting with the slowing down eviction process. Sometimes they could take money versus no money. Sometimes you don't even have to be on housing. If you're in a certain area, maybe they could have X amount of apartments that are kind of designated for the people.
Well, they do, but it's few and far between.
Well, and unfortunately, I'm not necessarily maybe on that list. Maybe more like, a separate list, so to say.
More shelters too, because when I was calling around, there's very limited resources for single men.
Right. And sadly, I know there is more help for women and children, of course, and thank God, at least, right? But it is even worse for men. And just to let you know, and I mean, it's hard. Like, we have 100-degree days. Some of those shelters, they want you out during the day. How do you walk around with a backpack, sweating, going place to place in a modern day and age where everything's done over online and this and that? And it's just tough,
Right,
So a 14-day shelter. Shout out Magnificat House. They're one of the shelters in Houston. They do get you on the right path. Shout out to Miss Sarah over there and some of the sisters that run the program. It is a really good program. However, it is only a 14-day program. It's in and out, and in those 14 days, 4 of those days are weekend days, and you're required to have a job by the end of the 14 days.
Yeah, and they don't help. Do they help you get it?
Now they do, like, they send you on. They'll give you the info to help you get you to the ID office. They'll help you go get your Social Security card.
Oh, that's good.
Now they just give you the answers to the test. People, they just kind of give you a document. They fill it out and they point you in the right direction.
Right.
Okay, which is nice. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you just need sometimes we could help each other with homelessness. If say you have a buddy and he's saying, hey, you can come crash over here, you might want to say, or you got your mother that wants to help, you might want to consider saying, hey, well, maybe can we act like a program? Like, could you help me get my ID? Sometimes we might need a push. Like, me as a man, I'm super good in some areas and not so good in others, and one of them happens to be that calling the food stamp office or this and that. So sometimes it's helpful having somebody just kind of.
Oh yeah, because you don't really know what to do, and you have so many people acting like they know what they're, but they've really never done it before, and they think it's so easy, but it really isn't that easy.
Well, kind of like being in a gym. Sometimes it's just, if you got like an appointment, if you're going to meet me there to play racquetball, I'm more obligated to show up versus just going by myself and getting on a treadmill.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So sometimes there's ways to look out for each other on that. Other ways that I think our organization would help is we would kind of go directly to the people. There's pockets of homelessness all over the city. One thing that I have seen in the homeless community is the camaraderie. The camaraderie is unreal. I've never seen people so stick together, so tight. I mean, even fighting or not getting along, they will still be there for each other when stuff, goes down.
That's really good, because going against each other does not work out well.
Now, we see a lot of that too, like the going against each other, and I wish it wasn't that way. Like, look out for one another, people, and, try to do it the right way, and, I'll just leave it at that.
you have to talk to your city officials about, the things that they're doing to create,
Right.
more places.
And the problem with the city officials, I'd imagine, and I'm just speculating, but we'll definitely let them, speak on that when the time comes. But is that they just, they're, whether it's corruption or people thinking they're already in this, there's nothing we can do, it's too big, it's this and that. A private organization is, we're going to go around them. If they don't want to put in their help, then don't. They can just keep doing what they're doing, and we're going to do what we're doing. And what that is just kind of helping people, guide people directly to the way. I've never once heard of a caseworker being assigned to anybody out here.
To create,
Right.
more places.
And the problem with the city officials, I'd imagine, and I'm just speculating, but we'll definitely let them, speak on that when the time comes. But is that they just, they're, whether it's corruption or people thinking they're already in this, there's nothing we can do, it's too big, it's this and that. A private organization is, we're going to go around them. If they don't want to put in their help, then don't. They can just keep doing what they're doing, and we're going to do what we're doing. And what that is just kind of helping people, guide people directly to the way. I've never once heard of a caseworker being assigned to anybody out here. The stuff that I have seen is kind of just seems staged. And
Yes, that is so true. And yes, very.
Naturally, we live in a massive city. There's a lot of people that need help. But I can tell you this. I'd say come to Westheimer and Hillcroft, and you find us, or you find us, you find me in my movement, B.I.T.S in the street, which is a B.I.T.S movement. It goes through This My Music record label. My artist name is Montezuma Mike, so I kind of in the front line or the spokesperson for that for now. But anyway, if somebody came to us and said, I need help, I feel like we'd have a better, we could help you almost more than they could, only because seeing it, I'd be able to tell you, first of all, go to Magnificat House. Now, Magnificat House mixed with, say, Goodwill. Shout out Goodwill to their career center over in River Oaks. They do have more than one location. Shout out Michael Elliott. He works for Goodwill. He's a good man. He's a director there. He will get you a job. And that accompanied with an emergency shelter and a little bit of knowledge in the streets where you can be, where you can't be, where to leave your stuff, where to do it.
Exactly, yeah.
A little education goes a long way, I'm sure I've been homeless in my life, because I've always been kind of a knucklehead. So, I've been through many evictions or losing apartments or couldn't pay my bills or whatever it may be. But probably never knew I was actually homeless because I still had friends and family that you didn't even know. It was no big deal to show up at their house and hit the couch. But, once you become kind of a grown man and it's not such a good look, and you also start to realize that you don't want to be that burden on anybody anyway.
Right. Well, yeah, and
it's hard enough for people to have their own home and and responsible, ideally, but you don't want to shun anybody because they are not being. Because I'll say it first of all, maybe it's because I'm not responsible enough, and that's within. Now that doesn't mean somebody owes me and needs to put me up. I don't want them to, because what happens is as I got older, I seemed like I don't want to disrupt their lives, even if they're just a buddy of mine that might be just a single man. Believe it or not, even a single man needs his space and his time alone. And
people can help you, but the only one who's going to rescue you is you.
Understood.
Yeah.
I like the way that's said.
Yeah, and but I don't know what happened with the Salvation Army and why they quit doing what they're doing, but donations for your movement could actually get you a building and a place, and you could start doing what the Salvation Army used to do, which gives you 30 days.
And that's true. Like, we maybe have no clue what it started as just an idea. Now it's an idea that's starting to form. Once we actually do put everything in the process, make a nonprofit, yes, we will start taking donations, and those donations will, of course, go straight back to the movement.
Salvation Army had several companies that they had with them that they gave.
And let's be honest, they probably get way too much, and they've gotten way too big, way too. I mean, look, Salvation Army, I've always heard great things about them. I just know that our city is saturated, and maybe they're just a little behind on whatever it takes to get it done. But from what I can see, there's no reason anybody should be out here, and they're too busy passing laws to keep people off the curb or out of our sight.
Yeah, and fine them up to $500. How'd you fine somebody $500 when they don't even have a home?
That's ridiculous. Meanwhile, you have like when people sleep over there by the Walgreens, they'll sleep there because Walgreens kind of allows it in the back. And shout out to Walgreens at Boston and Westheimer for allowing people to be, on their sidewalk or at night. Now, I'm sure they don't want you to put up a whole camp, but at the end of the night, I've noticed some people that don't want to be anywhere else feel safe to just lay down right there. And shout out to them for doing that, because a lot of these places are just running the people off.
I know.
And what a sad thing.
It really
because,
is.
Like, homeless doesn't have a face, and you'd be really surprised who's actually homeless and who's not out here.
Exactly.
Now, sometimes it does turn into chronic homelessness from what I can see, but that's victim to circumstances and victim to ourselves. I'm sure people that, there's a certain set of freedom that and that's a whole different ballgame.
Right, they could have mental health issues, they could have addictions, which there's not enough help in that area either.
Instead, they just want to get them caught up in the system, which is overcrowded.
Right.
Harris County, we're sending people out of state, to federal holds because Harris County is so, which doesn't make sense. If it's not a violent felony, then they need to just kick them right back out the door and say thanks for stopping by and see you later.
Harris County, Houston, Texas is huge.
Yeah.
It's massively huge.
It's
and I've been here since the early 70s, and I've watched it grow, and there's absolutely no reason.
And for some reason, we love our city. We love our city. We're loyal to our city. But I don't know that our city loves us and our city is loyal to us. It's kind of like having an abusive partner or parent, and you still love them because it's all you know. So that's kind of where we're at here in the city, and we do grow up a little bit tougher and whatnot. I think maybe that's why we walk around with our heads so high. And but the truth of the matter is, there's real issues down here, and we're gonna kind of get to the root of that, and hopefully see some change. And we'll keep this one here short, and we'll sign off for now. But we'll come right back.
Well, I want to add one more thing. There's people that up on the street that you've met that have actually come to your studio and have done their own music with you, and it's good. So there's talent.
There's mega talent. There's mega talent, and without the risk of putting anybody on blast without them knowing, I have artists that are wonderful, and one that we know of, that you've met, and she has an album or two out with me under her own name, not even just a feature. She actually lived in Watermill, and for some reason got behind. Now she's in the Walgreens parking lot and back and forth into jail and back because she gets caught up, or maybe decides to burn one, or whatever it is that's her vice, and she ends up getting in some trouble. But she's certainly out there preaching the word, and it just seems to somebody else on the outside looking in that she might be a little crazy, and they just end up locking her up anyway.
And how do people get in touch with you if they want to help you, like if they want to donate towards this organization?
Right, and well, I'm easy to get a hold of. As you can see right now, our phone lines are going nuts. At This My Music is on YouTube. Montezuma Mike, you can find me on all platforms. 346-400-4226, direct line at the moment. Leave a message or keep calling. Email, comment on the music. We will recognize you. We love our fans, we love our city, and we do want to help. And for the first time, I must say, I believe in it, and we're believers too.
Yeah.
And it's not a requirement. We love all people, but of course, God wants you to recognize Him, and that's a whole separate side note. But we are believers. But we believe in our city, and we believe in you. And I believe in us, meaning that there might be a chance that we can make a difference.
We pray for the city officials and the people in the streets and everybody. We can all come together.
Oh, for sure. We need to restore Westheimer. We need to restore our city. We need to make a change. We need to lead by example for the rest of the country. There's no excuse. I'm not a politician. I barely even vote, only because I'm so busy trying to survive that I don't know that I have enough knowledge on it to really to weigh in my vote. Now I should probably get more educated on it and try to be there in the future for it. But we need to make a change, Houston, Texas. So I'm Montezuma Mike. That's Montezuma Mike, Mom, and we're gonna come back and do a part 2. So
thank you for having me.
yeah, you're welcome, and we'll see y'all soon. And what's up to Ashley? What's up, Kirby? What's up to the ones out there that
hey, shout out to the Beacon.
do care and do want to see better for everybody.
Shout out
What's
to
up,
Officer
Hearns of ATL? Anybody who I'll forget, man, you know, I'm just drawing a blank. What's up, Omega? R.I.P. Ari. Hey, watch out for the bicycles out there. What's up, Late Night Lee? People, look out. If there's people riding bikes or walking, just let them go. They got the right of way. They're a pedestrian. They're on foot. They're on a bicycle. Why don't we just stop the vehicle and let them get by? Slow it down a little bit, H-Town. I mean, for the man himself, DJ Screw, slow the shit down a little bit. When I hear people honking at a bicycle, I'm just like, God.
Just honking in general.
I just can't. I just don't even get it. Like, I really don't. Shout out to Raising Cane's over here on Westheimer and Hillcroft. Shout out to Hawaiian Bros for allowing the homeless to be around.
And to all those who do help and are out on the street helping these people or bringing food to them or having your food, things that you have sometimes out in the street. Thank you for that.
When you're already getting judged because you're carrying around bags and whatnot.
Well, what else can you do with them? You gotta have something. You gotta,
Right.
you
Right.
have substitute toothpaste and toothbrush and a change of clothes. Come on.
We're talking about
They could even have lockers, city lockers, where you could, and have given to them free.
absolutely. They're
Put their stuff in there.
The sad part is the resources are available to us in our city, but they're just not kind of getting allocated. They want you to go there. They want you to go to that program.
Well, yeah, but you can't. They turn you away.
They turn you away, and even worse, sometimes you might go and then they flush you out